But
yeah, man.
again, success, and like so. When we talk about success, and I talk about my success, when I look at success, a lot of this superficial success is, like, oh yeah, I got this, I got that.
Mhm.
If somebody can take it away from me, like, did I really successfully get it?
Mhm.
So I know I'm a little bit different in that type of headspace.
Mhm.
But the other part about it is just like I would like success to be able to be buildable. Uh, like you said, you keep trying stuff, and in the face of adversity, you do better. And you like Michael Jordan is a success
Yeah.
because of his will to play and play hard, right?
Dog, look, Michael Jordan is such a success that you don't pay attention to his failures, which is crazy.
Exactly.
It's like I forgot who well, I don't know if he's a good candidate to reference, but Michael Beasley was talking about that, where he was saying how LeBron, we watched him, fail, and then we've watched him win, and we watched him fail, we watched him win, where, it's like almost with Jordan, you just watched him win, or you remember him winning, which is dope. I mean, you could say, the Pistons beat him 4 times. You could say Boston beat him up a little bit. You got Atlanta Hawks, where they used to have a little back and forth. Um, Jordan is a great view of success, even, selling shoes or being that type of global icon where everybody wants to be the Michael Jordan of something,
Right.
which
Right.
is dope.
Well,
Like Michael Jordan. We grew up like Michael Jordan was, and it's hard. It was hard being a Jordan, and I regret. This is why I try not to have any biases anymore. Like if I just like a player, I like him, but it was hard to be a Jordan fan and you was a Pistons fan. Everybody was like, "Well, you like Jordan?" It's like, yeah, like I like good basketball. I like what he's able to do I still like Isaiah too. Like I ain't got no
yeah,
like they could both like it's just like with
they can
Biggie and
coexist in
Pac.
your
Like I can
world.
like both
Yeah.
of them. So
Yeah. Yo, and think about that. So, like, I was talking this weekend because y'all had the Wu Tang concert Wednesday, right?
yeah, I was there.
Yeah. So, like, one of my guys, he was there too, and so like, I was talking to him, and I was like, "Yo, I actually got a chance to see some of the most awesomest artists ever, and it was with you, right?" So
Mhm.
I was like, "Yo." I was up on the stage with Meth and them, right? You know what I'm saying? Like I got up on the stage with Meth and them.
What was that?
So
That was what Meth. It was Meth, Red,
Redman.
Biggie. It
Yeah.
was it
No,
Mob Deep?
that wasn't the Biggie concert. The Biggie concert was Mob Deep because that was in
Okay,
that other
Biggie and Mob Deep.
video.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
But got a chance to see him in real life and like yeah, that's that. Thinking about that, man, like you actually seen Biggie in real life. It's not a lot of people that can say that. Like
Yeah.
the niggas right there where we could touch him, but I wouldn't. I'm not that type of fan to people. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Be
I
like,
just want to
yo,
be cool. Like, you remember the African dude? What's the African comedian? What's that nigga name?
Michael Blackson.
Yeah, Michael Blackson. Like, I was at a Nesby conference in L.A. and no, it wasn't L.A. That was it was in Kansas City, and he performed. And then, we all in Kansas City, we try to figure out like where to hang out at. So then I'm over here hanging out with Michael Blackson. And mind you, he does have like people say, well, he's not really African. Like the nigga's fucking African. But like, I mean, but he's from the East Coast too. So he has like an East Coast accent. He's a cool ass nigga. Like we hanging out with Michael Blackson, trying to figure out what's the next move. So we done went to the club, we done went and ate all that shit. Like cool, but I'm saying that like it was dope to be able to see these artists like as themselves, and like in growing up, like you don't see that no more.
Right.
So
Right. I got to see Easy. Actually, got a chance to talk to him at the mall because we was a little bit Muskegon.
them
And I
niggas
think
in the mall, like and that's so whack, man. Like my mom would let me go to that show, man. Fucking NWA and shit. That was, that would have been dope.
yeah, yeah,
All right, because the NWA show, and then I want to say Q came like maybe a year or two after that shit. And I
yeah.
think he went
Q
to that
came,
one. And
but
I
too
couldn't go to
short.
that
Yeah,
one.
too short came with both of them, and
Mm-hmm.
he was always the show stealer. Like it's definitely harder for rappers to entertain people because they that walk around the stage and you rap this part and like that gets old. Like, yeah, that
No,
gets old.
it just depends. Look, when I was at the Wu-Tang concert, and this is, I'm like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Wu-Tang and all that shit. But literally, like, say for instance, if Raekwon was rapping, all them niggas was standing in one spot on the stage, not doing nothing. I was like, damn, it's like this, has this what it come to? Like, I mean, y'all niggas are like not that much older than, not to say you got to be jumping around and da da da, but you can at least be over there hyping Raekwon up and doing stuff. But I'm like, these niggas are literally standing still while RZA or Genius is rapping. And I was like, damn, y'all niggas, the only nigga that was hype was Old Dirty's son. Because I don't know if you know, but he performs for Old Dirty. So
Yeah.
that was the only nigga that was like hype and moving around. But that nigga damn, I want to say he might be in his 30s and shit. But yeah, that nigga was like the only nigga that was like really moving around. I mean, dope part, Redman did come out, so that was kind of cool because I've always been like a Redman fan. But him and Meth were doing all they shit together. But I'm like, damn, it's like the young niggas don't know how to, engage, and the old niggas are so tired of the engagement that they did in the past. It's like, damn, like nigga, you can't win for losing.
Yeah, and I mean, like they've been doing this job for a long time, and like they had that residency, and like I hope they ain't doing it just for the money. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because like when we went to see them, the Grave Diggers and everybody was hyped. I mean, remember Keith
Yep.
Murray?
Yep.
I don't know if that was the first time everybody had tried to snatch somebody's chain off, but it's like all we heard was Keith Murray. Like, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's definitely different to go like the R&B niggas and them dancing and doing their thing. Like I'm like, okay, like it's a show. Like Usher, I'm about to say R. Kelly, that hopefully he ain't putting on no shows, but but Usher puts on a show and Chris
Who that
Brown.
nigga put on the show for?
Yeah, that's why I was like, yo, I don't want to pee on nobody in prison, but.
The nigga putting on the show for Big Juicy and Cell Block 4.
Oh yeah, but man, like that. So like, yeah, that is crazy because like I'm still an R. Kelly fan. Still a fan of his music.
Listen, separate the music from the person. And this is sometimes you say like this would kind of like we do this within the Black community. And not to say that R. Kelly isn't like a piece of shit, like doing shit that no nigga should be doing. But you look at it like sometimes, like say for instance, Robert Downey Jr. or Jonathan Majors. It's like Robert Downey Jr. did all of the shit in the damn 80s and 90s and shit. That motherfucker's revered as motherfucking Iron Man. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't get canceled. Just hell, the nigga. Don't get me wrong. I love the role that he did in it because it was meant as a joke. But the shit that he did in Tropic Thunder, you know what I'm saying? Wearing blackface. It's like
that wasn't blackface, man. That was like he was an actor playing an actor.
No. It's cool. Like I said, I'm just saying, like we sometimes, like say for instance, with Jonathan Majors didn't even do anything. Jonathan Majors got fucked up by talking.
He was running away from a white girl, right? He's running away. I mean, literally running away. He did not call. If he would have called the police when he seen her at the hotel, seen her at the apartment. If he would have called the police instead of trying to get her out, he probably nothing would happen. But I'm gonna do one up you, man. I understand that these people are human, and like Pac had the militant side of him, and then he had the dear mama side, the keep your head up side. It's very different sides of every person, right? Now, R. Kelly, I got uncles that's like R. Kelly, you know what I'm saying? That like young girls didn't have the power that he had, but again, to me, I don't understand why you would allow somebody to have that power over you. Be a real person, and like this R. Kelly should have left this stuff alone. But I think he was kind of.
It's a slippery slope. It's just literally what. This is my problem sometimes with the whole victim thing. It's like everyone isn't a. not to say that you're not a victim. It's just what part do you play in being a victim? And sometimes people equate that to age or power and stuff like that. It's like, no, like, I mean, and it's what, like the whole R. Kelly thing. I thought it was always, weird that you see all these people say, well, he did this, that, and the other, but yet y'all witnessed and let that shit happen. It's like y'all aren't. It's just like similar to the Puff shit, right? I don't know if you had a chance to follow the case. There's nothing in that case that's like saying that Puff was sex trafficking or doing any of these things. All it was just a wild nigga. Like from everything that they've shown so far, it's just a wild nigga watching his chick get smashed by multiple people and
paying for it.
Yeah, it's just that, and that's. I mean, like I said, people got their little kinks and stuff like that. And I'm not going that far, but like I said, besides Blake Griffin, if Blake Griffin comes with that $60,000 a year, $60,000 a month, or $50,000 a month. No, we can't do $60,000 a year. We're above that. If he comes with the $50,000 a month, let's go, Blake. But no, it's just weird that we in that society now that. There's no accountability on the other person. Like Cassie is getting out this bitch just scot free. She already settled out for I think $20 or $30 million.
Like $22 million or something, right?
Yeah, and it's like, well, she has but she's the one that's grabbing the people and all that stuff and getting them to do whatever. And then still, it's not like I said, it's not, like I said, I'm not gonna say Puff did whatever or not, but I'm saying like he's literally being he's in court or his character is being judged as far as freakish for the freakish shit that he do.
And being an asshole, right? Because like that's what he didn't piss somebody off for being an asshole to some people that's like, yo, you're not untouchable, right? So, like, and if you think about it, like I remember when Puffy and R. Kelly had the issue, right? When you that good at what you are, and you got all these people that do everything that you have to, and they'll be like, yo, you ain't wrong or whatever. Like, I think that's what got to both of them at that point where they lost grounding and they didn't know that, like, hey, this shit is real.
I think the era got to him. I mean, I don't know if you remember when all them comedians, like when was it Louis C.K. got hit for masturbating, and Dave Chappelle said it best. It was like he was masturbating on the phone with you, like you could have hung up. Like it's just like I mean, hell, even the coach for Michigan State,
Michigan State football coach, Tucker, right?
Like I mean, she said 35 minutes. I'm like, wait a minute, 35 minutes? You talking to him for 35 minutes?
You recorded the shit because you wanted something out of it, like that. That's it. Well, you like. And I'm gonna be honest with you, right? The whole point of a man being around a woman that's attractive is that he wants to. Even I mean, like he might want to, but not act on it. But like, if he ain't touching you, I don't understand how that's assault. You know what I'm saying? Like verbal assault.
It depends on what you're saying because I feel like niggas was verbally assaulting women. Like like I said, I never been of the, you got a nice ass or something like that. I never been that type of person. I don't even like necessarily even holler at anybody in public type of shit. Like I'm not gonna see you in Walmart be like, yo, what's up with them grapes over there? Like I'm just not, that's just not gonna be something that I'm gonna do. But a nigga could. I'm not gonna be caught on camera saying some wild shit unless it's some shit that we say on here and like Blake Griffin sees it. But other than that, it ain't gonna be no, you got me on camera. Because the thing is, we can like anything can be taken as harassment, and it's just like a thin line of being able to define what because it just depends on how that person feels about it. Like I'm like, hey yo, what's your name? You be like, and then you start recording, you be like, this nigga just asked me what my name was, and I don't want him to ask me what my name is. And now I feel like I'm being harassed.
She harassing you at that point, but you know what it is.
But it's never gonna be that. It's never a man will never win against a woman. Ever. You just got to understand that in life, it is what it is. It's a double standard. I mean, you got to fight for what you can fight for, but it just is what like women are always going to be seen as the weak, not to say the weaker, but
the more vulnerable.
Yeah, the more vulnerable of the two. So like it's almost like a man say, "Man, she raped me." It's like, no, it's like it's not she raped you for real. You know, it's gonna be that almost like when she says, "Oh, he raped me." It was like, that's believable. Like, and that's how it's taken, even if it may not be true or it could be true. So it just depends.
That's a terrible double standard because I'm being here in Florida and you see some of these where the teacher stuff joins, right? Mm-hmm. And I'll be like, yo, that 15-year-old was not raped. You know what I'm saying? Like he was definitely
it was some wild shit. Like nigga, I remember I want to say his name, but I remember this dude, he was on the hoop team. I think he was like 2 years older than us. But I remember he was
talking about Santana, didn't you?
I'm talking about Santana. Santana had talked about, I'm gonna say his name, but fuck it. They said Santana was smashing was it I think it was an English teacher and shit with like a bunker and shit. But yeah, it was just like crazy, like
allegedly, because I had heard something like that too, right? So we just say
no, we all heard it like Santana was most likely smashing this woman and
allegedly smashing this woman through the grapevine. Because
allegedly. Yeah, I go with alleged. Allegedly wearing that ass out.
Right. But we have really good looking teachers. At least I don't remember.
Teachers are way different now. Like none of my teachers. I remember Miss Brookshire was fine, but but even still, like she wasn't like fine. Like okay, I'm about to holler at her. You know, like she was just a pretty woman. You know, but yeah. I forgot the name of the teacher. We put that shit out. But I
had heard something like that too. And I was like, yo, that's class 93. Yeah, but But again, like it's different situation because when we was in high school, nigga, all the high school girls was dating older dudes that like was in college
the niggas
or
pulling up, the niggas was selling drugs, the niggas was you know, like
was taking care of them. Like they were like and getting their hair and nails done and stuff. Like
but that's why like the R. Kelly thing, it wasn't surprising. The one thing that was surprising, if anything, like I always this is my beef with R. Kelly. When the whole case and all that stuff happened, and then you know the video and stuff like that, I was like, damn, that's crazy. But when Chocolate Factory is very similar to that Boondocks episode, but when Chocolate Factory came out, he had won the case. Chocolate Factory came out. I was like, okay, he grew up. He's making grown folks music. He ain't doing nothing that's like, you know, nothing crazy.
Risque.
You know?
Risque.
I mean, that nigga had a song called "Girl I Like to Crash on You." Like, that was a night. That was on the 12 Play album.
Yeah. No, that was
That was on the 12 Play album. It's number 5 and number 6. Girl I Like to Crash on You.
Crash on you. Crash on you.
Nigga, it's that song and Summer Bunnies are the two songs that I don't play on that album. That's why I know it like vividly. But I felt like he was growing up, and then he came out with TP3, which I thought was because he had the little Trapped in the Closet series, which I thought was funny and entertaining. I actually still own episodes 1 through 32 on DVD. But all that being said, that nigga after
it was 32 episodes.
It was 30. I want to say it might have been more. I own 1 through 32.
Okay, I started watching it because like it
got too long.
Yeah,
but it was cool that they were only like 3 to 5 minute videos, so it wasn't like a long watch. But
it was a very great storytelling.
Right? Yeah, but it got bad. I mean, niggas was coming from midgets was coming from, or little people were coming from under the sinks, and it was crazy. But listen, after that nigga made I'm a Flirt, I was like, okay, this nigga kind of back on some. But he was like 43 at the time, and I was like, okay, you too old to be like. You need to keep it because he had came out with the Trapped in the TP3. Then he came out with the Gospel, the Gospel Stepping album, and then I'm a Flirt came out, and I was like, come on, man, like pick it, like just be dope. Like be dope as an R&B singer, write for people, and go
Yeah,
from
I wish he would have just had kept writing and producing because like that Uncle Charlie album that he wrote a lot of the stuff on is a classic. Like I was watching shorts and Bow Wow was on there and he was like hands down the king of R&B is R. Kelly and I was like
yeah,
yo
without doubt,
I agree
without
with him
doubt.
because like he wrote the song the Anytime for Janet Jackson that's a and that would have been around the
That was 90.
that would have been around it a little bit after what album came after 12 Play? The one where he
Yeah,
and
no, 12 play was 94, 93. Because I just remember
no
I remember
12 Play
listening
was
to it. I remember listening to it in Houston or in Texas when I was down there. That was like
it was
90, 93,
the
94.
double album R. The double
Oh, the
album
double
R.
album R was 98.
Yeah, okay, so it was
Yeah.
around the time the double album R was coming out. He did that song, and that was a mature song for Janet Jackson at any time. And
Ooh,
then he
Unfortunate
also
by Maxwell.
oh yeah,
Wrote, produced, arranged the whole song.
yeah, yeah,
It's Gonna Rain by Kelly Price. Wrote, produced the whole song. Like,
and they can't read.
I think that was a lie, but
I mean, he can't read. Like, I think, I don't think, I think he might have like a dyslexia. Not really
I think
can't
yeah,
read,
he could
but
be dyslexic, but talking about you can't
yeah,
like nigga, you learn that shit. Like I don't like nigga, if you made it anywhere in elementary, nigga, you could read and write. You know, like it ain't like we learned to read and write in motherfucking ninth grade, nigga. Like we learned that shit in like kindergarten and shit. Like the letters, at least I want to say kindergarten, maybe even preschool. I remember we learned the letters at least by first grade because I want to say we was doing math by first grade. You know,
yeah, we know, yeah, man, for first grade,
yeah.
yeah,
I remember we used to do the math test, like who could finish it quicker, like
yeah,
who could do the
the
pluses, who
math
could do the
major,
minus, who could do the
yeah.
multiplication, division, and all that stuff. That was definitely first or second grade.
Now, who was your teacher? Second grade. That was second grade, Miss Anderson.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah,
That's crazy. Like, I don't know. For R. Kelly, back to the R. Kelly thing, I feel like the era is what caught them up, not like with the Puff thing. If you look at anything that's going on with it, it's literally the Cassie video that keeps being brought back up.
that's the only thing that's the only. It should be an assault charge versus this, but they
No,
try
but
to
the
say they
Cassie
got.
thing, Cassie settled for that video, so
But
there should
that's
be any
that that's
charge.
but she can still that the state could pick it up criminally, right? And they just got to get she would have to testify, and she can be like, "I plead the fifth or
But then she
whatever."
agreed not to testify because of the the payout, the 30 million. I thought
Yeah,
that was the
and
whole reason for the payout.
it's but yeah, it
Yeah,
is
because if you
always
try to make it criminal, then I mean it is what it is. But I mean, you got to get that money back.
but I don't think she would pursue it criminally. I think the state would pick it up and be like, "Yo," because I think it happened in California, right?
I think it might have been Florida. I don't want shit. That nigga own
Yeah,
homes in multiple places. So I'm
yeah.
not sure.
And the fact that he was able to keep that off for so long until like, yeah, it's
But it was
just
been released though, which is against his. I mean that works it works against him from public perception, but it works for him within his case because technically you shouldn't even be able to show that video within. You're talking, was it sex trafficking, the RICO, the drugs from transporting drugs from locations. None of that
yeah.
has anything to do with cat. Like that's literally trying to.
So he's being charged with two things: racketeering
Mhm.
uh, and sex trafficking.
No, he
Those
got the
are
drug thing too. The drug um transporting drugs from location. Well, I guess that could be considered the RICO part, but it's weird to have a RICO about like with one person. So I don't know.
yeah. It's not done a lot, right? It's not. I don't know if there's any. It's
I've
very
never ever
rare.
heard one person have a RICO against themselves.
Yeah,
Now I'm
yeah.
not like this RICO investigator or know anything, but I've never heard such a thing to say this person is on trial by himself for a RICO case.
Well, from what I understand, some of the witness for the prosecution is also could be a defendant. and the RICO case. But I'm like, yo, I don't hear no claiming the fifth, But again, Puffy did this to himself by being in a place. But like you said, I don't sell drugs. I never sell drugs, and Cassie know I had a drug guy. You know what I'm saying? But I don't sell drugs. Like that's never been my game, right? I sell music, and I sell a lifestyle, and I sell alcohol. But he don't sell drugs, and I probably agree with him on that. The issue that I have with Puff is that he's always been an asshole, and I think he's only got more asshole-ish as he. And like I would never hang out with Puff when he was like fabulous. Like he was like, "Oh, let me take you shopping," and
That's 50 though. Like, but so here's my deal, right? With Puff, right? I feel like the more money you get, the more people are going to feel that you're an asshole. And I feel like sometimes even with Puff, I'm not to defend him or anything like that, but I do feel like some of that asshole persona was needed for when they was dealing with Death Row and all that stuff, and just to show that y'all can't stop us, or like with Suge and stuff, like, because Suge is probably the biggest asshole there is. Suge was doing shit, and Puff and Big or Bad Boy and shit was just trying not to even fuck with it. Them niggas are still like, I mean, Tupac is a huge asshole. Like, but Tupac is a loving person too. Like you said, Tupac has all these different sides. But I think that's just life though. Like we all have, I mean, shit. Sometimes you might think about getting married. Sometimes you just want to fuck. Like it just literally depends on, like what you want to do at the time. Like sometimes you want to make love, or sometimes you want to get head. It's like, like what is it? Like what do you want? Like no one knows. It's just sometimes you might want to have somebody watch the game with and shit. Like you just don't know. Like it just depends on your day. But Puff is a weird case because, like I said, the more famous you get, Puff was, I don't know where his money at now, but Puff was considered to be one of the billionaires, So
yeah, he was considered to be the first.
Yeah, so it's just like, how do you not be viewed? There's not too many billionaires, in my opinion, or that I can.
I got three that I can tell you right now: Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Paul Allen. Because I'm in the tech world, those are the ones that I see that actually I mean, yeah, those are the ones that it's. I think Mark Cuban is also another one that I'd be like, it's not a real like. It's like
I fuck with Mark Cuban. Shit, I fuck with Balmer from the Clippers and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, the happiness, and I didn't know he was from Michigan. Shout out to Michigan. Steve Ballmer, one of ours. So yeah,
but it's just crazy to think like the black ones, we automatically put them into the asshole category.
So would you opening up that can, right? Tyler Perry, you said you don't like his art, or you don't like him, or you don't like both.
You said what?
Tyler Perry.
I don't fuck with Tyler Perry movies.
Okay,
I love his grind and his hustle, but I just like, you know what I equate his movies to, and I'm not a fan of this either, but I equate his movies to mixtapes, and it's like hurrying up, putting the product out to generate interest. And I don't like. I was gonna consider watching Straw just because people keep talking about it, but honestly, I'd rather rewatch one of my other shows, But all that being said, like I'm not against your hustle, you know what I'm saying, or your job or your career, but I don't have to like it either. You know what I'm saying? Like I literally haven't seen a Tyler Perry movie that I liked outside of Why Did I Get Married?
So you like Homecoming? Medea's Homecoming? Why not? What's wrong with that one?
I don't like his film. Like I don't like the plot. I don't like the way he sets his films up.
Okay, so with that being said, he was on the BET Awards, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I got it because and this is my spidey sense kicking in. I was like, yo, he makes stuff for black women. That's what it is. And and black women make stuff.
Because I said I don't like Tyler Perry movies. Like, well, why don't you like it? But okay, so and I'll let you fit. But this is the thing that's weird to me is that I look at everything as a whole, right? So if I say something, I look and see who's commenting negative on it, who's commenting positive on it, who's supporting whatever on it, who's not supporting, blah, blah, blah. And that's kind of how, I'm not to say I put people in groups, but like, I post memes and all this stuff all the time. I notice if I post a certain meme, this person's going to comment, this person's going to comment, this person's going to laugh at it. I can really it's just some, not say, I don't want to say some visionary shit, but it's just literally being understanding what your room is, right? So if I post a meme about a stud, this stud is going to say something. This non-stud that supports studs is going to say something. And then this person is going to say something. Like I literally know who's going to, and it's weird. It's not like I'm pushing stuff to their feed or anything like that. I'm just I post. Well, I don't post as much as I used to, but I would post like at least 10 to 15 memes, and I would know who's going to respond to what, whether it's based off of, one's got to go with Nas, Raekwon, Ghostface, and I don't know. I'm trying to think of somebody that people don't like to get rid of. Rakim. Oh, I can't comment on this one. Oh, I'm going to skip this one, and blah blah blah. But if I post, one's got to go with, let's say Nelly, Nelly, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, and Drake. Everybody's gonna argue, or the people are gonna argue Nelly and Drake, even though we all pretty much know, in my opinion, that Nelly should be out of that category. This is what I'm saying. Like people post based off of their feelings towards Drake or Kendrick. People post based off of their opinions on, I only like East Coast music, I don't like West Coast music, I don't like South music, da da da. Like that's how people make their opinions. So as an example, another one gotta go. If I post something like MC8, Redman, Method Man, and Common.
Yeah.
It's gonna be most likely MC8, even though Method Man don't have a solid album to stand on outside of his Wu-Tang projects.
But he do have a mixtape. He got a solid mixtape. One solid mixtape that I was like, oh, this one is. Go ahead,
Method has some of the best verses ever. I don't care what but. Like it's the same thing with Jada. It's like people say, "Well," I was like, Jada doesn't have a solid album to me, or an album that I would list him as a classic. Or hell, even like I was talking to Ed about this with Big L. Like Big L doesn't have like a great album to me, whether it's the Big Picture or his first album that dropped in 95, 94 or whatever. Like, and people be like, "Oh, Big L is the greatest." I'm like, well, how do you put him with the greatest if he ain't got the greatest? Like, you look at Biggie's run, you got Biggie from 94, it's like September 94 to March of 1997, 3-year run. Biggie had one of the most impacted career, or had a great impact on hip hop in general within them 3 years, than anybody besides Tupac. You know what I'm saying? Like Tupac had a huge Tupac was so great that people only associate him to Death Row. And he was only on Death Row for 10 months.
Only in the game for 5 years, was in prison for damn near a year, and in jail like 3 or 4 times for longer than 2 months.
Dog, he was on Death Row for 10 months. Dog, he got out of jail in November. And this is crazy in itself. Got out of jail in November, recorded a double album that was pressed and ready to go for February. Then threw out the diss record. Was it Hit 'Em Up?
Yeah.
Then put out another album.
Was that the second double album?
No, just Machiavelli. Machiavelli was just one.
Yeah, Machiavelli.
But put out Machiavelli after he died. He died in September. he was able to do all like, and that's what I'm saying. Like they associate Tupac to Death Row, and he had so much other career outside of Death Row. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I liked him on Death Row. I think it would have been, I don't know. I liked him on Death Row, but I liked him as Tupac in general. Like he didn't, in my opinion, he didn't need Death Row. Death Row more so needed him with Dre leaving and all that stuff. But Tupac's impact on the game was just great. Like, dude dropped a double album. It's funny too. I saw this little thing, and we can start wrapping up because I know we're running long. But I saw this thing with what's the name of the rapper? They used to do the wrap ups every year.
You talking about out of DC area?
DMV.
Skills.
Yeah, Mad Skills.
Yeah, Mad Skills.
Mad Skills. I remember watching an interview with him or reading a interview with him from, might have been The Source. I can't remember, but he was like, I had no chance when I came out. And, they're like, well, what do you mean by that? He's like, my album dropped, I think it's either February 23rd or February 25th of 1996. All Eyes on Me came out that day. Fuji's The Score came out that day. He had no chance. I bought the album. Didn't think I thought it was okay. It was a pretty solid album, maybe like a 3.5. It was a pretty solid album. But all that being said, I bought All Eyes on Me and I bought Fuji's The Score as well. So if you got to go into a store, you're going to pick one of them three. Most likely at that time, you was gonna pick Tupac, and then after that, you was gonna pick Fuji's, and then it was gonna be I think it was just a two people run who you was choosing. I don't think everybody else was into Mad Skills. Like I was in like Rap City got me into Mad Skills, and I remember he was in rap battles and stuff like that. All the men said he had no chance. All Eyes on Me. What could you do? So.
And then at the time with Death Row, everything Death Row dropped went straight to the top. Like Snoop.
As it should though. It was dope shit that was dropping. You had Dog Pound that dropped October the year before.
Yeah.
It was just like that's one of my favorite albums. Like just listen, like I like that. I like them. You know what I'm saying?
The production was so good on there. That's what I was like, yo, they fit the production. Mm-hmm. Like I wish that song that I got my mom made up was on. I want to hear the original that was supposed to be on the Dog Pound album.
Yeah, so the original didn't have Pac, but it had
That's correct.
Inspector Deck. You haven't heard the verse? I sent it to you. It's on YouTube or whatever. I sent it to you.
They had Daz and Corrupt on there too, right? Yeah, that was on the original. I mean,
Corrupt was on the Pac version.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Pac rap first, then Daz went second, Corrupt went third. No, Method. Did Method go before Redman? Well, all the people that was on the song was Daz, Corrupt, Method Man, Redman, and Tupac. I don't know if you got to watch this interview with Corrupt, man. Corrupt was talking about how he didn't like how Tupac didn't want he didn't want Inspector Deck on the song. So he was like, yeah, man. He's like, I don't want that rapping shit. And Corrupt like mimic him so perfect or whatever. He's like, man, I want that rappity rap shit on my shit. Like, so then they took his verse off of there. But Daz was like, then he was like, well, Daz left it on there, left this little part on there just to show that he was on the song, just to show respect to him. Because like, I don't know if you remember, but at the end he'd be like, INS the Rebel, whatever. But yeah. So that was like to give him props that he was on the song. But the verse, honestly, man, like not to, I like it. Inspector Deck is probably one of my favorite rappers as far as dropping bars, within Wu-Tang, but his verse wouldn't have worked with Tupac. It'd have been what, 6 niggas on the song at the time. So it just wouldn't have, the song already ran long anyway, and I think I want to say Meth and Redman, I want to say they each rap 8 bars or whatever. So just to keep the flow of the song. But anyway, I'll send you the verse. The verse is good, but it wasn't fit for that song.
Because I mean, even Pac verse kind of like after I listened to it when they told me that it was a Dog Pound album, I was like, oh, he did kind of change the case. I mean, like change the
energy.
Yeah.
But I feel like he brought light to it though. Like
yeah.
it would have been another album. It would have been a song on Dog Pound's album. With it being on Tupac's album, it brought a bigger light to them.
Yeah.
So and it was in the midst of the beat too. So it was like, well, it's Meth and Redman, you know, East Coast, West Coast, is Meth and Redman like beefed out. Like, I mean, are they like they rapping with East Coast niggas and they over here rapping with West Coast niggas? So I don't know.
Yeah, and the whole. I mean, but like, so I'm gonna end this with my whole. I love Tupac and Biggie. You know, I've been a Tupac fan for forever, and Biggie was my dog. Like the storyteller and the art of storyteller get lost a lot, but I will say the rapper who did it best with Bone Thugs and Harmony was Biggie. Tupac, that Bone. Like, I don't know why they put that out there, dog, because that was not it. I was like he went the opposite way of Bone Thugs and Harmony, dog. Like that A&R should have been shot.
But it worked though. But I think it worked though, just because it was just like it was. I mean, now you listen to it like hindsight 2020, you be like, we need all y'all niggas rapping out here. But like now, like back then though, like that was like one of the first tracks I wanted to hear, just because I was like, how does this go work? Yeah. You know, like seeing Bone featured on the track. Because you ever heard it? And I want to say it was on some of the. Well, it ended up being on Bone's album, and it was on some of the bootlegs as well. But you heard? Have you heard? Is it called Thug Love?
Yeah, Thug Love. Yeah.
Yeah, with the gunshot beat with Tupac and them. Yeah, which is crazy because like they are the only artists to record both of them.
No, Meth. Well, is it because Meth got the song with Biggie and the what?
No, but I'm saying Meth recorded his song with Dog Pound. So but like to actually be in the studio and record with both of them, like Bone got that. I don't. Who cares about accolades like that? But you know, like Bone is the only group to ever record live with both of them as far as like doing the music. So
yeah, but I think Lazy Bone is one of the most underrated rappers ever. That shit that he did with and I like it's one of the ones that in the club I was like, dang, that Lil Jon featuring Lazy Bone. I was like, yo,
Look, Crazy Bones. I mean, all of them could spit. The only one I didn't like was the nigga that misses Uncle Charles. Like everybody else, I thought like everybody else was cool. I didn't like the Miss my Uncle Charles nigga. But like Crazy, like if you ever listen to it's crazy that it remixes Biggie's verse from what's the song? Notorious Thugs. He did the Notorious Thugs. I forgot what they called it. Oh, Spit Your Game. And that's probably the only. Yeah, that's probably like the only track that I like from Swiss Beats. I'm not a Swiss Beats fan either, but that's probably like the only track outside of Banned from TV that I really like from Swiss Beats. But all the men said Crazy Bone verse on there was like crazy.
So. Yeah, I mean Bone as a group, Lazy Bone, Flesh and Bone. I forgot. Was it
Crazy, Lazy? Crazy, Lazy, Wish.
Wish was the dude you talking about that said you.
I like that. I met my Uncle Charles, y'all. Damn, why am I missing? Well, shit don't matter. Them niggas.
Crazy, Lazy, Flesh and Bone, Flesh and Bone. Dang.
Flesh. That was the one I was missing. Yeah.
Because he stepped out on his own kind of early too.
Mm-hmm. But you know, he got locked up before they. I think it was during the one where they really blew up. The second album, East 1999.
East 1999.
Yeah, that one he was locked up for. So he didn't really get that much exposure. So, but they all came out with solo albums, I think, besides Wish.
Yeah, and I think Crazy Bone actually went crazy, right? Was the two light-skinned ones.
Crazy ain't light-skinned. Crazy's brown-skinned. I fuck with Crazy. Did he go crazy? I mean,
The one dude, he
It's
was
meant
like
to be.
depressed
I
or
don't know.
whatever. Yeah,
So, I don't know. So, I
yeah,
mean, shit. I mean, you call it like shit. Most nicknames, there's a reason behind it.
yeah. And they had the high pitch because they had a beef with somebody at the South. And they was like, we beat, like, and I believe Bone them was crazy enough to do it because if you're in Cleveland and like you gotta get up your weight in Cleveland, and I forgot who they was beefing with, but they was ready to go to war for real.
You know what's funny? Let me tell this story. We will wrap up. It was this woman I was dating at one point in time, and she was like, she was like, "Oh man, when you come to Cleveland," I was like, "Whenever LeBron come back." That was it. And then she's like, "Yeah, that's messed up." I was like, "Well, if Kyrie comes." If Kyrie come back, I'll consider.
So
But yeah,
was it
I was.
after the first time or the second time you left Cleveland?
This is probably after the. This was after the first time. I was in Chicago. Yeah, I think this was after the first time.
Oh, okay, so you actually came back though after that. So you,
Yeah, but I still didn't go.
shout out to Cleveland.
Yeah,
Love
shout
the
out to
city,
Cleveland.
like yeah,
I want just Cleveland is not a. I mean, I'm in Atlanta now, and even in Chicago, those are not. Cleveland is not like. Yeah, I'm about to go to vacation in Cleveland. It's like, nah,
yeah, yeah. It's a
ain't
hard sell. It's a hard sell. It's a
good
hard sell. Yeah.
luck.
Yeah, shout out Cleveland though, and but it's a few places like I would never go to Idaho. There's no city in Idaho that I'm like, yo, I need to go to.
It's a whole section of the U.S. that that is getting no love. I'm not going to Idaho. I'm not going to Montana. I'm
You're
not
not going to
going.
Montana, the spot that Kanye and them go to, Jackson
Nah,
Hole, outside.
I'm not going to North Dakota, South Dakota. I'm not going to
Yo, yo,
Minnesota.
wait,
I'm not going to Iowa.
you wouldn't go to Minneapolis,
No, not not not
Mall of
not by
America?
design.
Uh, but hey, so what about and I think this is dirty as hell. I'll end this on that. So,
Mississippi. Ain't going there.
hey, they probably got some bomb festivals in Mississippi. Go, yeah. But
I need to reconsider Mississippi. I told you I had a horrible perception of what it still may be from being
yeah,
a child. So
yeah, I'm still not ever living there. So I don't care how cheap your property is. I'm not. I'm not living
that's
there.
a financial that's a financial loss for me.
Yeah, but so
If you tell me I bought property right now in Mississippi and that property was 300,000 and I stand to make $1 million and I got to go there and live there for 5 years, that's just a loss of money.
right.
I'll just that 700K. I'll take that in the red. Look,
Yeah, but Mount Rushmore is in South Dakota, right?
mm-hmm,
Uh, and what's really messed up is that it's overlooking a Native American reservoir. You know what I'm
mm-hmm,
saying?
mm-hmm,
I mean, I'm sorry, reservation. So not just reservoir, but a reservation.
mm-hmm.
And for you to take their land, carve your four founding fathers out, and have them looking over the reservation like they can't get over the gate. Like that's the pettiest. Like America is petty, 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 petty. And
Now
like,
never go. I don't need to see them four niggas or
nah,
them four white folks up there. I don't need to see it. I'm
I mean,
okay.
I don't even
I,
work besides oppression, right? And who is it? Thomas Washington.
shit,
Is
I
it
don't even know who's on
is
that
it
go.
Lincoln? Abraham Lincoln?
Abraham is up there. Yeah. 4 people. I definitely don't
And
know.
Benjamin Franklin? I mean, like, I know. No, it's four presidents, right?
Let's see. You got George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, okay. I would have never guessed Theodore Roosevelt.
Yeah, I would have left him out too. Hell, I wouldn't even thought Thomas Jefferson. Shit, that's the first and second president. Shit. Um,
Yeah, but he
I,
was.
I'd have thought George Washington, but I would have thought Jefferson.
I think Jefferson was a big like he basically scaled America with the banking system, right? Uh,
Hmm.
and like learning about money, and like I was talking to my friend, I won't hold people too long, but I was talking to my friend, and I was like, "Yo, how do you scale?" Right? And you scale with capital. The only way you can scale is capital or free labor, right? And
Hmm.
she was like, "No, you can scale with you don't have to scale." And I was like, "If you're gonna grow, that's the definition of scale, right?
Hmm.
But if I do something, if I can make, so I was talking to my mom too. I was like, because we were talking about Africa and investment in Africa and stuff like that. But I was
Hmm.
talking to my mom. If I'm a farmer and I can buy $5,000 worth of seeds, and on that $5,000 I can make $11,000. Now, if I can scale my, because the $5,000 is my cash, but if I can get a bank to give me 20, and I can invest that 20 into it, plus I still got my I got my little cash. Now
Hmm.
that 20K, I can yield like 55, right? So now,
You going
uh,
too deep for niggas. You got to. I mean, if you're gonna explain this, you got to go a little bit. You got to, because I'm catching it just because I understand. But for someone to understand that is not to say that it's difficult, but at the same time, so like explain it to somebody that's a 4-year-old
ooh,
because
okay.
it's a hard thing to explain. I mean, I understand what you're saying,
Yeah. So,
but
okay, as a 4-year-old, you
Mhm,
can invest $100 in the stock market,
mhm.
and you can make. Let's say you make. Let's say you're doing as good as the S&P, and you're making
What's S
20%
and
a
P?
year.
4-year-old don't know that shit.
Uh, Standard and Poor's, it's a subset of the market that they've created to kind of cushion out. It basically digitizes the market to, so it's a subset of all the stocks that's on a certain market, right? Uh, so S&P is making anywhere between 17. Well, the last couple of years have been between uh, let's just say 20%. Like it's been good the last couple year runs, and they've been
Mhm,
making 20% on that $100. Making 20%, you made $120.
mhm.
Okay, within a year, you probably made more because it's compounded interest, but for the sake of this, $120, right? Now,
See, now you done talked over the 4-year-old's head again.
okay, so
Compounding interest.
yeah, we ain't going. I won't get into that for the so for 120%,
Mhm.
you made $120, right?
So
That's
okay, stop. Hold on 1 second. So the idea of compounding interest is interest gained over time. So you're consistently gaining interest on your money. But I just want go ahead, jump back into it.
So,
My bad.
the idea of compound interest is that every month, well, or either every month or every day, whatever period, that interest is added on top of. So the money that you make in interest is also added into the pool, right?
Yep.
So if you so
So say for instance, okay. So say for instance, you make 100, like you put $100 in your interest over the month. Say it's 5% or say it's 10% just to make it easier. So now you made 100 and so now you have $10. So now you have $110. Then month two, you made what's that 10%? You made $11. So now you're at
the best way to
121.
the
So
best way to do this is to go opposite, right? So
mhm,
let's say I loan you $10, right, and I'm charging you 10%. All right. So your minimum payment is $1. Okay. I've
mhm,
charged you 10%. So at the end of the month, you owe me $11.
mhm,
All right. So so my interest was $10, right?
mhm.
Now you now let's say you didn't pay me, or let's say you didn't pay me. So now I'm charging you 10% on that $11. So that means you owe me $1.10 next month. So
Yep.
then next month you owe me $12.10.
Mhm.
So every month I'm getting whatever is what you owe. I'm getting the interest off what you owe.
Mhm.
So if and my point being the minimum payment. and this is why I tell people never make the minimum payment. If I loan you $10 and it's 10%, and the minimum payment is $1, so at the end of the month, I send you a bill for $11. You give me $1. You still owe me $11 next month.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, and my bad for derailing the conversation. I didn't want to like people get confused on compound interest and stuff like that.
Yeah. So compound interest is really it's your money working for you. It's whatever. So it's whatever you make and then multiplying that by the interest rate every period. So if you say your period, so your house mortgage, for example, it does a daily mortgage. So it's whatever your mortgage rate divided by 365.25.
Mm-hmm.
And they add that every day. So they can get it better. So like when you'll see it a lot of times when you say, hey, this is your balance, but it's not necessarily what you owe.
Okay.
Yeah. And you see that a lot of times when you look at your statement, but like, hey, this is your balance, but call us for get a payoff.
Okay. Now where were you going with that as far as the stocks?
Okay. So with the stocks, shit, I kind of forgot.
That's fine.
Y'all. Yeah, I'll put it
My bad for derailing that. We could jump back into it.
I was thinking about it, and then I was like, if I keep going back into it, because again, a 4-year-old, and I didn't think about it talking to a 4-year-old. So
yeah, it's always difficult, like because you never know like the levels. Because you start talking compound interest, and like I said, the stuff that you were talking about, I'm fully into. I'm like, nah, these are the conversations that we need to have, but these are the conversations that people don't understand, so they get pushed away from them. It's like you don't deserve to be at this table because you're not this smart. It's like, no, the stuff isn't that difficult to understand. Like when it's like when if you give me $1, you tell me like, oh, I put my $1 in here, then I'm gonna gain 10 cents on this because it's 10%. And then I'm gonna gain another, 11% because now I have $1.10. Like it's easier for people to understand that than when you say S&P or compound interest and stuff like when they learn the terms, I think they get it. But it's just like I said, it's different learning curves. A lot of people, that's a terrible thing to say, but I was gonna say a lot of people aren't that smart, but a lot of people aren't that knowledgeable to understand that their money. As an example, their money is better being in a savings account than it is in a checking account because the interest on a checking account are more than likely, unless you're within a credit union or something like that, and it's still pretty low. But you're more prone to gain money in one of them rather than it being under your mattress. So.
Right, and my whole thing was about scale and how America has scaled up over the years. And so like I was just talking to a guy about this the other day. And so that's why I didn't forget. So that was a bad word. Forget what I was talking about. It was just forgetting how to put that narrative into place. Because like I said, talking to my mom, and she was talking about Africa and why Africa's so poor. They're not really poor. It's just they couldn't.
Different way of living. It's a different economy.
And they don't scale that. And their currency is based in the world economy is based in the U.S. dollar, right?
And it's hard to really understand. People fear what they don't understand. It's like we live in the U.S. Yes. We don't have any type of we literally live in a environment, and we're gonna wrap up after this. I want to keep it under 2, but we live in an environment that no other environment, maybe not even in Canada, because they live differently, but there's no environment. And people say, well, hey, I'd rather move here. I'm like, hey, go ahead. Like I'll figure it out here. Now if I can live somewhere in Mexico and still make the money I make in the US, then hell yeah. But I'm not gonna move to Mexico and get a Mexican job. Like no way in hell I'm gonna do that. Or but I would love to move to Dubai and get a Dubai job, just because the cost it's just different economics to scale, as you said, that we all have to deal with. So
yeah, and we'll talk on that the next time, because I got into a conversation with a guy there that was talking about money. He was a financial advisor, and you taught me. I learned about money. if you get anything from me today, America is a capitalistic society. That means we work with capital. So your capital working for you is the best way to make you some money.
Yep. I like that.
That's the shit. That's the shits and giggles of it. Yeah.
Like I said, Blake Griffin come around, $50K a month. Let's get it.
Hell no, that shit is not. Yeah, he bullshitting, y'all. If Blake Griffin did call, I'll tell that nigga. I was like, no, he bullshitting. He
Blake
just
Griffin could get me on the podcast and record it live stream. Like, yo, what up? I be like, hey, he
Blake
be like,
Griffin call us and we'll talk some numbers and like give us on the pitch or something. Like, yeah, the ultimate pitch man, Blake Griffin. I still can't believe he's making that money pitching at this point, right? Because during his career, like he was on all the AT&T commercials doing the
Blake
basketball
is a perfect marketable dude. I mean, he was starting to do stand up and stuff like Blake is a smart dude. I mean, even when he got the Detroit deal, I'm gonna say he got the Detroit deal for like 150 mil, somewhere around there. But yeah, but I mean, Blake is one of the dudes. Like the only reason why you would know that he plays in the NBA is because he's 6'10". Like other than that, like he's just a cool. Like he could be the regular dude that if he was 6 foot tall regular dude, then you'd be like, oh, he's just a cool dude that we record podcasts with or something like that. He's just a very personable person and very like entertaining and shit. So.
Crazy part about that is I still feel like the dude that was in the 5 Heartbeats, My Office Hours, don't even. And Blake is a twin. Now a lot of people forget, but Blake is a twin because his brother didn't play in the NBA. But like I feel like that's a.
You know what's his name is a twin too from that just got drafted by Dallas. His twin just going to college this year, I think.
You talking about Cooper?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has a whole ass twin brother that's not even in college yet. Like I think he's going to University of Delaware because he reclassified to come into college early so he can go to the NBA quicker.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I heard. I've seen the tactics.
Yeah, no, it's smooth. It makes sense to me. Shoot, if you get there early, like shit, you got the time, and we'll drop. But we talked about the Thompson twins. Like them dudes is like they didn't go the typical route to get to the NBA. Like they didn't play no college, and they just went to one of those prep. Well, they went to prep school, but then they went to like one of the elite programs or something like that.
Man, that new school down in Atlanta that they built just for basketball players. Yeah, it would state of art facility and everything. Like I forgot, it's some association with G League too. So like
overtime elite. Yeah. So
cool. Elite. Yeah.
Well,
thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. No, thank you. Appreciate it. Great conversation. We got more to go. Thank you all for listening. And make sure you like, subscribe, say whatever you want within the comments. And we'll go from there. We got Nothing New Under the Sun and Reality Not Podcast. Doing it. Love talking to you, cousin. We keep going. Talk to you soon.
All right. Peace.